Well, hello there. Welcome to Blue's Kitchen, a place where usually everything is dirty. And we have what do we have here? We're well stocked. We got one knife, a spoon. We got two plates now because Viking was just over to visit. We had two spoons. I lost his spoon. Good thing he went, eh? Yeah, Blue's Kitchen is not well stocked. But, hey, you can cook with dirty utensils as well as clean utensils. Today they just happen to be sparkling clean. And Viking, when you come back, I'll make sure that you have all the spoons that you want. It's interesting how both Viking and I prefer to eat out of bowls and with a spoon. We are a match made in heaven. So, just to keep him here in spirit, because he's not actually here, there we are. That's Viking, my soulmate. Not my better half, because he makes me better, you know. The 90% of what I feel is missing from me right now. So he will be here with us. And these are his two boys, Noah and Angus. He has a YouTube channel called Short Paul Viking. I'll put up a link to it and you can follow him there. He puts videos up of his boys and also his backpacking adventures and his survival skills and stuff like that. Really cool. All right. I want to talk a little bit about food. So Viking has been teaching me about absolutely everything, and I shit you not when I say pick a topic and he will teach you like you can't even fathom and comprehend. I do not know how the man has that much room in his brain. So diet has always been huge for me. I started off on a standard Mennonite Canadian diet, you know. The food was home cooked. My mom was not well, so she got more tired. It became more sort of fast food type, like not fast food restaurant food, but like not prepared from scratch food. There was more restaurant food. By the time I was 20, I was severely anorexic to the point of my organs starting to shut down and not being able to walk properly. That turned quickly into obesity when I was started on antipsychotic medication and literally ate nothing but like Pepsi and donuts and sweets and ice cream and chocolate and chips. Okay, that's all I craved. It was a really intense time. So I lived that way. I lived in anorexia and obesity for, I want to say, about a good 13 years, maybe a little longer. And I started figuring out some food stuff at 33 years old and now 45. And I've finally been at a stable, healthy weight now for over a year probably. You know, my body's finally settling down and it's wanting to, at where it's wanting to be. I was vegetarian for most of my life due to sensitivity to death and just not, yeah, as like a 8-9-year-old, I couldn't deal with death and I couldn't deal with eating animals. So I was never a healthy vegetarian though, because my mom didn't put any research or effort into it. I just ate whatever they ate minus the meat. Okay, so that's not healthy, that's not balanced. And then when I went off on my own, yeah, as I said, chips, donuts, Pepsi, chocolate, from anorexia to obesity. Oh, yeah, the health problems that brought up was just intense. And then at 33, I cut out gluten, I cut out processed sugar, I cut out, eventually, I mean, this took me years, I eventually cut out all processed foods. I started a very simple diet, so like I would only make food. I wouldn't, okay, obviously if I'm not eating processed food, that automatically says that you're eating a simple diet. At least for me it is, because it's one ingredient foods and I would make my own food, right? Still vegetarian. And then as I started doing more and more research, I it made sense to me that paleo and keto, well, later on the last few years, keto really, it made sense to me, you know, and I pushed myself to start eating really small quantities of meat, and I did feel a lot better. I felt stronger because I was literally just watching my life force drain out of me. You know, I was getting weaker physically. Emotionally, I was getting a lot stronger, but you know, I've never been a woman of a lot with a lot of stamina, and it was distressing to see my energy just, you know, even further tanked to the point of really not being very functional. So I pushed myself to eat a little bit of meat and bone broth, and I definitely felt my energy start to rise, and I got into cricket powder, and that definitely had a huge energy boost with that. But I always did say, though, you know, if someone can show me how to eat a vegetarian or vegan diet and be completely healthy, I will never eat meat again. I will never touch meat again because, you know, animals are sacred. They are pure. And the way that they are raised and, I mean, let's just be brutal, slaughtered is absolutely despicable. It's really hard to find ethically raised and harvested animals. And with all that's going on, animals' consciousness are also being raised, you know? So we are killing and eating sentient beings, and Viking is definitely showing me that we don't have to do that anymore. So as soon as he came for, no, actually I stopped. As soon as he told me that he was vegan, and I mean, shit, man, he's healthy and he's fit as an ox, and talk about stamina, like his backpacking trips and survival shit that he does. It's like, okay, there's definitely something to this. It's not like he's a 25-year-old who doesn't know all the ins and outs. He has studied this hardcore. He's lived it. He has helped other people through it. So it's like, I'm just gonna throw myself into that again and see what happens. Then he came down for a visit, and I totally threw the way I've been eating out, or I totally threw out the way I've been eating, and I decided that I am going to eat whatever he offers me, and I'm going to do so with absolutely wild abandon. Holy shit, man. So I haven't eaten gluten in years and years and years, and I'm pretty hardcore about it. Processed sugar, I will occasionally, if I feel like life is kind of just shattered beyond repair in the moment, I can fall off the wagon and have some chocolate. But other than that, I am really hardcore about the sugar as well. I'm really hardcore about the processed foods. I have a really simple diet because everything just seems to make me sick. But that being said, I have been working at cutting out the inflammatory foods to give my gut a chance to heal from leaky gut. And I think that I needed to do that over the past years, because if I would have tried this diet, what Viking fed me a few years ago, I think I would have had all sorts of reactions. So I'm really seeing my diligence in cutting out the inflammatory foods and not eating what I definitely know makes me have reactions or makes me feel sick. It's paying off, and I think my gut is doing so much better. So many hoozles. While he was here, I ate gluten, I ate sugar, I ate chips. Did we have chocolate? I don't think we ever had chocolate. But we had desserts. I had pasta. I had biscotti. I had French fries. And his whole thing is, if you are healthy, you cannot do this if you are unhealthy. But if you are healthy, if you don't have leaky gut, you work hard, you play hard, and you can eat. You can eat a lot of stuff, because if you are working hard and you eat like quote unquote crap, because chips are crap, okay, desserts are crap. It's a treat. It's not to be eaten every day. And I know, yes, it sounds like we ate a lot of treats, and actually, yeah, we did. When we get back together permanently, we will not be eating nearly as much crap, but holy shit, man, did we honeymoon. And it was absolutely awesome. Okay, I interrupted myself. I don't know where I exactly was, but I just want to say something else. I'm in a really unique situation because a Viking is a healer. Okay, so he energetically helped me prepare my body for some of these foods because I asked him for help because I was a little bit hesitant to eat like a shitload of sugar, like a cheesecake. or the pasta, right? It's like, last time I tried that, I felt sick and I'd feel sick for days. So it's like, he helped me. He energetically helped me. So it's interesting, really actually intense to have my own personal physician here where I can say, hey, Viking, this is what I'm feeling today. And he can give me ideas on what to do, but also like put his hands on me and help heal me, or just send me healing energy. It's wow. Let's just say it's just wow. So something that was going on for me last week was I got myself a little bit dehydrated with being silly in love and, honeymooning and all the good shit that we were doing. And when I was peeing, it was burning intensely, and I immediately got incredibly uptight. I was thinking like UTI and like shit, I'm gonna have like some sort of infection, and I haven't had one since I've been in like my mid-20s. And like, fuck, man, like, really? And he says, just stop, take a deep breath. I want you to drink warm water with a lemon and that's about it, and sea salt. So I'm still drinking it. I'm feeling like it only lasted for maybe 3 days, but I'm still doing it just to make sure. So he says that dehydration can cause the burning sensation. Being acidic can cause it. And a few days of drinking lemon water with sea salt will do the trick, and it really has. So I'm gonna make myself some today. So I'm putting a lemon into the thermos and 2 really decent pinches of sea salt. We should be putting a pinch of pinch of sea salt into all of our water that we ingest anyways, because it's full of good nutrients and minerals, and probably, I don't know if vitamins, but definitely minerals. Our water across the whole planet is really problematic, and that is one way, quite an easy way to support your body. Just add a pinch of sea salt into your drinking water. So there's my lemon. My fingers are a little wet, so I'm just gonna shake a little into there. Pour my water into here. And there we have it. I am hardcore, no medication, no doctors. I refuse, absolutely refuse. So I don't believe they're helpful in the least, to be honest with you. They can help diagnose, but honestly, even what good is a diagnosis these days? I don't know. That's not a bunny trail we actually need to get into right now. So something else that he has taught me is to wake up, make some warm water, and put a bit of chia seed in the bottom. So those are chia seeds you see floating around the bottom, and drink that about half an hour before you're gonna have breakfast. And what chia seed does is it lines the stomach and it slows the absorption of minerals, slows the absorption of food, which actually helps us absorb more nutrients. And that's like, I never heard of anything like that. With all the food that we eat and our problematic stomachs and leaky gut, we are not properly absorbing nutrients. So chia seed helps with that. So that's what this is about. A tiny sprinkle of chia seed in every meal, on every meal, also helps with that. It lines the stomach and helps you absorb nutrients better. Chia seed also helps with feeling satiated. And so the way that the Viking eats is, so like play hard, work hard, eat hard, or don't eat. So only eat when you're hungry. But first thing in the morning, well, not about an hour after you eat, so get up, have your little bit of water and chia. If you're hungry, absolutely have a full-on breakfast. If you're not hungry, just have a little bit of handful of something, nuts or seeds, an apple, banana, just so that your body knows that it's still safe and it's not going to go into fight or flight or scarcity mode or anything like that. So it's just a message to your body. There's still food. There is still food available. Everything is well. That's all. Okay. So then either you have a full-on breakfast or you have your little handful and then you wait till you're hungry again. That's how he eats. Okay. So we would literally like pig out on something. I know it sounds terrible. We had so much fun though. So don't judge us. It all, you know what? It all evens out over the days, right? Over the weeks. If we had a really, really, really big supper the night before, and sometimes we did, he said, "Kay, we are not," well, he never told me what to do. He said, "Kay, I'm not hungry. I'm not going to eat until I'm hungry." And I would have a little handful of something, and then we would once again eat when we were hungry. So he can go for quite a while without actually eating. So that is, it all balances out. It's not about how many calories you get in a meal, how many calories you get in a day. It's about eating when you are hungry. And if you eat way more than you usually do, then just don't eat until you're hungry again. You know, it really is that simple, guys. It really is that simple. So, he showed me an absolutely fabulous breakfast. And neither him, no, he doesn't actually eat this way when he's alone, and I definitely don't eat this way when I'm alone because I am not able to afford it. In his lovely English way, this is lush. This is really lush. So this is one of our honeymoon treats, right? So it's muesli, and muesli is like whatever you put into there with oats. So I'll show you what we had. Yeah. Oh, it was so beautiful eating with someone. He would get up and make breakfast most days, and we'd sit down and share it together. Yeah, there's something about sharing food with another being that is just beautiful. So guess what? My bowl's dirty. I don't even know where my bowl is right now. So I'm going to make it on a plate. Well, you'll be able to see it better anyways. So you can add whatever you want into here. And what Viking is teaching me is that it's not about the protein. We do need some protein, but we actually don't need much at all. It's more about, now he will correct me if I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, I will come here and correct myself. It is about the complex carbs. So complex carbs in this case are oats. You know, it's interesting because I cut out carbs and I felt much better. So, but I've also, this past week, I ate a lot of carbs and I felt better, but I was very physically active with the Viking. So that's what he's saying, right? You can eat all sorts of stuff if you're physically active because you will immediately burn it away, okay? If you're eating all the shit day in and day out and you're just sitting on your ass, you're going to be sick and you're going to be fat, you're going to be tired and hungover and just not functional. So that's the difference. You got to work hard. And if you want to eat shit or have treats, you've got to work hard on a consistent basis. So I'm not sure how this is going to work with a bowl or a plate because he makes the oats a little bit wet. I don't really like that consistency very much, so I just put a little bit of water on it. But if you want to add a little bit of water to the oats so that it's easier for your body to process it, because if you don't, then your body literally has to rehydrate it. And you want to use whole oats, not rolled oats or quick oats, because the quick oats are just sort of the dust left over from the other parts of the oats. Kind of made sense. It's not actually the most nutritious part. It's like the leftovers. You know, they want to feed us everything, so they feed us the shit. Yeah. Anyways, you want whole oats. Probably naked oats would be even better. So right now I am cutting up dried apricots. There's a little bit of estrogen in dried apricots. I don't think a whole big amount, but a little bit. And then we have, candied ginger. Oh my gosh. I don't know that I've ever had candied ginger before Viking, so. I call it moo candy because he always jokes about meditating. Instead of saying it's moo, you know, like be serene like the cows. And then one day he asked, I don't know why he thinks ginger candy is meditation candy, but he asked for meditation candy. Then I started calling it moo candy. Oh yeah. We had so much fun together. Okay. Now, well, there he goes. We love you, Viking! Dates. Viking loves his dates. I do too, don't get me wrong. I've eaten a lot of dates. But, you know, again, I have to eat very, very simply because I simply don't have the money to eat like this. So that's okay. This was such an incredible treat, and I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to try new things and to enjoy it with someone else. So we got some sunflower seeds, and a little bit of dehydrated crab apples from an aunt. So I think this is just plain. She had some with vanilla and she had some with, I think, what did she put in there? I don't know, she had a few different varieties. So this is just plain crabapple leather. And we have some dehydrated raspberries. Oh, talk about little puffs of sunshine. And this kept me going absolutely for hours and hours. You know, I was not hungry. I did not have cravings. I felt like I was able to go and be physically active, and that's really something I've never really experienced before. So that was really exciting, and it's all just from adding one ingredient foods together. Have a little sprinkle of chia seed. Cinnamon is really good. I have Ceylon cinnamon. It helps regulate blood sugar, and I'm not sure what else it does, but definitely is good for the blood sugar. Got some pumpkin seeds. Walnuts. I miss living down south for this particular reason. You know, everything is so easy to find there. Yeah. We have like 2 types of nuts to pick here in my little town. And down south, you can get stuff in bulk. You can have so much variety there that I really do miss that. Oh, that was flaxseed. And then we got some raisins. A few cashews. Something I learned is almonds are not good for men on a consistent basis because they raise a man's estrogen, I think. Something to that effect. So that was interesting. Bananas, on the other hand, bananas and avocados raise a man's testosterone. So I'm thinking it probably does the same for women. I need to check with Viking on that. So we added a banana every time. Actually, I'm going to add this on top of the oats. I'll add my oats first. Now, this is a breakfast of champions, if there ever was a breakfast of champions. A little bit of warm water. Was it warm water or cool water? I think warm water. Oh, no, I can't remember. No, it was cold water. I think you wanted cold water. One of them congealed the oats and one of them just sort of made it into a mix. This isn't like boiling hot anymore, so I'll do a little bit of warm water. Obviously, it would work better in a bowl, but just so my body doesn't have to, you know, take moisture from someone else to reconstitute the oats. Viking likes his soupy. I actually would prefer mine with no water, but I understand the benefits of having a bit of water, so I do add a bit of water to mine. And we'll put a banana on top of it. And now, if my chainsaw was up and running, I could go into the forest and cut some wood. But we have discovered that it actually needs some pretty significant repairs. That's why I have not been able to start it recently. But Viking can because he has more muscles than I do. All right. Is there anything else that I could natter on about food? I think I've given you really the basics of how he eats and how I am starting to eat. He is a powerhouse of a man. He has endless energy, and he probably doesn't care if I tell you what his age is. He is 51, and I am 45. I'm 45. It doesn't matter if you know my age. I just didn't want to intrude on someone else's privacy. But he is, I shouldn't speak for me, but he is strong and very healthy. So not at all like any other man that I know, you know. This whole shit about us getting old and weak and decrepit as soon as we turn, I don't know, the age keeps getting younger and younger is bullshit and actually makes me fiercely angry. And I have been just absolutely longing and desiring someone in my life who could teach me how to heal my body and using foods to do it, because foods harm and foods heal, especially if you eat them in the wrong way or just sit around. So, yep. All right then. Thank you for watching. I know that this will probably raise a lot of questions for some of you. You can leave them in the comments. It takes a lot of open-mindedness to completely change your diet and to have faith and trust when I have been told that it takes faith and trust to be told that what I'm doing is actually not helpful and not working, and to try something else. And so I know what am I trying to say? I'm acknowledging that it'll be very easy to get defensive and say, absolutely not, I will never try that. And that's okay, that's on you. I want to be healthy, and I am willing to try something that someone has put in literally years and decades worth of thought and research and living his life that way. So that's that. If you want to support us, you can like, share, and subscribe. We got 3 channels happening right now. There's this one's just getting going, and Viking and I are not on the same continent at the current moment. We have actually just recently met, but we're soulmates, and definitely meant to live this lifetime together to completion. So we're working at coming together, but once we're on the same continent, it'll be easier to make videos together. Blah 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 blah. Lots of fun and laughter to be had. Viking has a channel called Short Paul Viking, where he puts up videos about his 2 little angels and his backpacking adventures and survival skills and stuff like that. That's his channel is called Short Paul Viking. And then I have a channel that is called Blue-Eyed Forest Soul, where I just sort of natter on about my life. Sometimes I show things that I'm doing in the shed. I live a very sort of rustic lifestyle, and talk about my journey. And yeah, we would love to have you over there too. If you would like to buy us a cup of coffee, that's also an option. Viking and I have been put together to help raise vibrations and to fight the war for light. It is an absolute battle, and the darkness is really, really heavy right now. So we also would like you to join us in facing your shadows and doing the best that you can, and really, really examining what is truth. What does truth mean? How has the wool been pulled over your eyes? How have you been lied to? And we're here to start waking people up and turning this fucking, what do they say, handbasket to hell around, and getting ourselves out of hell and back into a good life. We'll see how it goes. I love you lots. I'm gonna sit down and enjoy my amazing breakfast here now. If you want to make it super, super lush, and we bought this just so he could try. He'd never tried birch syrup before. I live far enough up north that we don't really have maple trees around here, but there's a birch tapping. They go tap birches out in the wilderness somewhere, so we did buy this. So you can add a little bit of either maple syrup or birch syrup on top of here, and that's like, oh, wow. That takes it to a complete next level. And honestly, birch bark, I think, is better than maple syrup, and you can just drink it straight out of the bottle. Yep. Yep, it's not nearly as sweet. All right. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. This information is coming out of my mouth for the first time today, so as I said, if there's any corrections to be made, then I will come back and correct. And please ask questions. Sending out love and light.